Is this real? Of course it's real. Of course it's real. Yeah, just getting my screen set up with everything I want to talk about, and we'll go over some live points too as I'm going through. I kind of rant a lot, so if anyone has anything they want me to talk about in particular, don't be afraid to drop in the chat. Yeah, welcome everyone. Be switching our screens here in just a second. You love me? Oh, I don't know. Como se dice? What'd you say? Not quite sure who you are off the top of my head, but I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. So I'm going to be going over our EX6 stuff today, just kind of doing some general market rants as I normally do. You pulled the Alt-Art Mommy Mirai? Nice, nice. Is it a fancy? No, I'm live, guys, I promise. Just refilled my coffee here, so I'll be pivoting in a second. Oh gosh, that music's a little loud for me. But yeah, just got some lo-fi beats going on. Howdy, guys. Anyone join the chat? Welcome. Here, let me go ahead. I want to be pivoting my view here. I'm going to pull Discord to this side here. Streamlabs here. And let's go ahead and pull up my Marketwatch tab for y'all. Oops. My screen is bugging out there. I sometimes know what I'm doing. Hey, how's it going, Izzy? How's it going, guys? Well, let's go ahead, and I think the one I want is this one here. Oh, that's the wrong stream setup. But this is the right setup, so let me go ahead and pivot. Let me pivot the screen capture. Instead of capturing this screen, we're capturing this screen because this has TCG Player. How we doing, guys? How we doing? So I figured instead of just doing like a pre-recorded market watch, that's what I normally do. We can do some stuff live as we have discussions on what we think pricing looks like for some stuff, especially since this is live. Like pre-sales just went live today or off today. The prices are going to be moving a lot faster, so it'd be a little bit more effective to just look at everything as it is. It's like we'll hop over here to Infernal Ascension here. I'm going to look at some prices because we don't have that pre-sale tag anymore. And I also have the meta guide here. Let's pull up some other resources. So let's pull up UU. And while we pull up UU, let's pull up Big Web. These are some Japanese sites I like to use for gauging prices. So let's see, we're not doing One Piece, we're doing Digimon and Big Web here, so we'll pull that up. So it's going to pull up our sets here. We're looking at EX6, so let's pull up EX6. Where's their EX6 set? Not have it on here? They should have it on here. Oh, it's under latest. That's where it is. So there's EX6 here. And let's go to single card sales. Not latest. Be under booster. EX6. Oh, it's extra. I always forget. It's a half set. What's he going to set? Let's take a look. We'll take a look. We'll take a look here. Okay. So I got a few of my resources for what I look at for Japan pricing. And it's not going to be a dollar for dollar comparison. And when I do these comparisons, I know there's the yen conversion, which is a little off. But my idea is like I always try getting a ballpark idea for what we're looking at price-wise, so we know what do we expect. Like, are we expecting Mireis to hold at $90+ here? Like, we can look at Altart Mirei. By the way, great looking card. Secret Altart or the bad pulls this set anyways. I'll be real, I need to look. I haven't looked at the set yet. Like, I just know it's Demon Lords and such. But we see people have been buying, they've been pulling the trigger. Pre-sales lifted today. So these are all the sales people have been buying today. We got what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's just start with Mirei here. Zhangpen? Yeah, that might be the low roll. That might be one of the low roll cards in the set. I didn't even know it was a card when I was kind of briefly looking at the list today. But like, just one thing I want to start things out with. Mirei here, Altart card, people are chasing it. People like their ladies, or they like their angels, they like their demons, and then they like their waifu cards here. And one thing I think is really important to start with is we care about the deck being relevant. So what I like going here is I like going to Digimon CG Guide. So when I'm building my market watches and I'm looking at cards I'm investing in, these are the type of things I'll be looking at. So let's see, we want to switch over to our image view here. Go to, what is it? It's probably a purple deck. And we've got Demon Lords up here. Lilith, Bielstar, Gamma, Lilith, Minerva, Musketeers. It might be yellow. I can't read these characters. But we can always search here. Because we got birds, we got cross. Got armor vaccine. Here, let's see. Will it pick up the translation of deck names for me? Nope, we can always just like brute force it. Oops. Double clicks there. Boop. I promise I know what I'm doing sometimes. There we go. So Nume Monze is the first deck under yellow. Second deck under yellow is armor. Third deck under yellow. Looks like oh, it's bunnies and armor. Those are the two yellow ones there. This one is Ancient Garu. Shine. It's like we're going all the way down here. We still haven't seen Mass Day, which just like definitely indicates to me it's like not really meta relevant. I've done like very little research on these sets. Then we go into like a Leomon. Yeah, so like it's not even that high up. But anyways, if we look at some of the alt art prices in Japan for EX6, we see it's like 7,000 yen. We look over here. Where's our alt art Mireis? Yeah, this one's like sitting at 5,500 yen. There's a reason I look at the two sites, because if you average the two, it typically gets you a good ballpark idea. And when I see this card in English at like 80, definitely overpriced, guys. Like, long term, we're probably going to match what Japan has, and they even have higher waifu taxes than we do on average. So we're probably going to see this card just fall down in price quite a bit. If anything, you could probably compare it to Rena. Like, what's Rena at nowadays for her alts? It's like 50 bucks there. Yeah, 45 low, 50 or 49 market. Crazy. It's like just a little bit lower than Mirei, and Mirei's just like a lot more tribal to another deck. This is locked to one deck, so it kind of makes sense to me. So that's one thing I'm looking at here. Probably not expecting Mirei to hold much at the price it's at. Now, the next card we looked at was a Gouda. That was the other one, because we want to look at what's Demon Lords look like. Is this going to be like a pricey deck? Are we expecting this secret to hold? Because this is the base secret. And you need a few copies for your deck. So let's head over here. It was under purple. If I go to purple, Demon Lords, search. Now, I will say, Demon Lords is popping up more in Japan lately. And the reason it's popping up more in Japan is because of the Shoto Tamer. The Shoto Tamer gives anything blocker, and generic blocker is super good, especially for a deck that spits out big bodies on a pretty frequent speed. It slows down Nume a bit, especially in the early game if they can't answer a body turn 1. But let's see, Agudas. I always have to remember which one's the art of Aguda here. Aguda is the guy with the little circles. So we got like 2 Agudas here. Scrolling here, where's our Aguda? We got 2 Agudas here, because I believe that's the alt. We look here, got 2. Look here, looks like we have, yeah. Okay, so he's like a 2 of. So the reason I'm looking at it is because I want to know the counts. Obviously, this is super relevant, as it is the most relevant purple deck at the moment in Japan. So now let's go ahead and take a look. How much weight am I actually going to put on these purple secrets? Looks like 2,000 yen here. Go over here. Let's look for our Gouda base. That's alt. Gouda base. Where is he at? It's like 2,000 yen. You're expecting to drop a little. I was actually going to say, from my quick glance here, I would expect it to be around 20 bucks too. So if we look at the price here of like 40, definitely a heck overvalued. Now, of course, Japan prices are like the long-term settling prices. So it's not going to be this price immediately. You got to give it like a week or 2, maybe even 3, and they'll start getting down there. But you'll typically see like the bottom price point be within the first week of pre-sales going off. So like, if you guys are wanting to build this deck, I wouldn't be rushed for it, because we're going to see the prices go down. It typically matches Japan long-term for the base. The alts are always where there's more variance. So let's go ahead and just like take a look at our alt Agudas. Like, honestly, like for the price difference right now, if you have to buy it now, the alts are probably your better value purchase, because the alt's at 55, your base at 40, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I would pay the extra 20 bucks for the alts from a quick glance. Like, what are they even looking like in Japan? Alt Agudas, like, these are 30 or 3,000 yen here. Where's the alt Aguda here? There's the Diaboro. It's right here. It's like 3,000 yen. It's like honestly like 30 bucks. It's still pricey here. But I guess it's like perspective, like where do you think is going to be your best bang for buck long term? Yeah, we started with Mirei. We started with Mirei, and that's a card that's definitely going to be dropping. I would compare it to Rena. Compared to Rena prices, probably add like 10 bucks. But like I'm kind of like my best looking ahead for what I think it's going to be settling at too. But yeah, welcome everyone who's joined the stream. I appreciate it. We're just going to talk about prices of like, what does Digimon EX6 look like long term? Like, Are these prices going to hold? Heck nah. Yeah, Mirai's not even a card you need in the deck. Like, it's a 1 or 2 of at most. It's like, in my mind, these prices ain't going to hold. They're going to be dropping pretty fast. Or when I say pretty fast, long term is where they should be dropping. How long it takes to get there? It always depends. But I think 2 other cards I really want to look at is the Lucamon and the Lilith here. Just because, like, there are other cards that people are really excited about. But, like, but anyways, finishing touch on Aguda, he's not a 4 of secret. So his prices are not going to be as high as our current secrets of Magnamon and Rapidmon. That's one thing you guys have to keep in mind. Second, it is a meta-relevant card, so it will be holding a little bit higher of a price. But, like, just matching Japan prices, it should come down. Anyways, as I was saying, we wanted to look at the Lilithmon and the Lucamon. Lucamon, 100 or 12,800 yen. Lilithmon, 9,000 yen. Look at Big Web. Let's see, what does Big Web say here? Sold out of the Lucamon, Lilithmon, 9,000 yen. So you might ask if it drops because of the Heroine set. I never take P Bandai stuff into account, and honestly, these are wanted for their particular arts. So if I were to say, let's see, what is English Lilith at? Honestly, this might just be a good price to get it at. Like, long term, it's going to be probably one of the more sought after cards in the set. You can try timing it to get like the $60 threshold, which like we had a few sell for here yesterday. But I don't know how realistic it is to like go down anytime soon. Because like this is like one of the chase cards of the set people want for the art. Like the playability's good too, but you're really getting it for the art. And then the Lucamon here, Lucamon's sold out here. Lucamon is like, if you just did a really gross math ballpark saying $130, there's a pretty big gap here. This would be a card I have on my watch list for like its price. It's a good looking art, first of all. Second of all, it is playable because like if we look at our Demon Lord decks, where's our new Lucamon? I think that's the base art there, so it's like a 4 of. You love sleepy art, Lilith? It is good. It is a good art. Where's our Lucy? There's 4 Lucys here. Where's our Lucys here? Got our 4 Lucys here. Like, this is the 4 of staple card in the Demon Lord deck. Got 3 here, or it might be 4 here. I can't tell what that art is. Kind of glared. Got 4 here. So, like, this is your 4 of staple you're going to want to have. So, if you're looking at max rarity Demon Lords, this is a card I would have on your watch list, like, sooner than later. Like, if you had to prioritize getting one card, it's going to be this. You need 4 of it. It's going to stay high in price because of that. And Japan prices definitely show there is a big gap there. But yeah. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for EX6? I know there's lots of stuff people are looking forward to. You get your Diabora support. You got your Demon Lord support. You think there's room for growth for Lucy? Let's take a look at Lucy. Because Japan's also very speculative on their cards too. There's a reason their protoforms are so much more expensive than ours. Like, if you look at the protoforms in Japan, I believe their base protoform's like $40. Like, of course, it's not that bad here in the US. So it's Animal Coliseum. You look at protoform. Yeah, they're all like 12,000 yen, so like $130 gross ballpark rounding. Their base protoform, 7,000 yen, guys. If we look at the price of protoform in Japan and compare it to their Secret Arena, this is twice as expensive. Protoform is such a long-term staple, but we do have one thing going for us here in the US. I don't know if you guys saw. Let's go to World Digimon real quick. Okay, on World Digimon, they just announced today some of their stuff for their events. And in their event pack 7, we actually have some really cool stuff. Where is it? Large scale, wave 3 regionals. Let's go here. Because if we go all the way down to their event packs, we have a protoform reprint, guys. And this is beautiful to have here. Because first of all, it is a meta-relevant card. It is only an EX6. And you do have the base one that's going for like 20-ish USD right now. You have the alt that's going for like 30-ish USD right now. But this card does have long-term potential of going up in price, especially if we start matching Japan long-term. Like, this is something I just really want to emphasize. Like, it's actually crazy how big the difference is. I do expect the event packs to help out with the price, though. This is a crazy good event pack. Even if we get the exact same cards in LMO2 that should be coming out sooner than later, I don't think it's going to kill the price of LMO2 as much as people think. Because this is a pack with a single card. You get one of these, 10 cards? 1 in 10 chance you get a better pull. But if you buy your LMO2, you have your chance of pulling all of these in the box, you know? And you only get one of these per event entry normally. Here, what is it? What's your participation this time around? You get 3 of these. Okay, so you get 3 of these. On average, if you do 3 events, you'll get 1 of each of these. I mean, yeah, it's just good. Lowest cards you think are Magna, Chaos, and Quartz. Quartz is probably going to be low at the start, but I think Quartz is one of the best long-term cards in this one. It's like, if we look at these cards, your worst card is just going to be Chaos X. Sorry, guys. This Chaos X machine's cool, but it's not going to be the best long-term card. Your best long-term cards for what I look at, I like generic staples that go in generic and multiple decks. Death X, obvious staple. Like, that's no surprise there. Protoform, that's also really high up there because that is so versatile in the decks it can go in. Any X antibody deck will use this, potentially. Roughly a 2/3 conversion rate for yen. Yeah, yes. Like I said, I just tried to do a gross ballpark estimate for where I expect it to be long term. It's never 1-to-1, but the prices match up pretty well. So like here, let me show you a fun example. Fun example here. If I go to YouTube, one of my old videos I did here, because I was kind of talking about this last night. It was the Marketwatch before this one. I talked about ruin modes here. And I believe I showed the Japan prices of what they looked like. Let's go... Yeah, here they are. I showed the Japan prices of what ruin modes were. And I want to emphasize... Oh, the zoom doesn't fix that. 8,000 yen for base ruin mode. This is what Japan had months ago. I made this Marketwatch almost a year ago, 11 months. And that ruin mode is 8,000 yen. If we look at TCG Player today, what is ruin mode at? Look at that, guys. It's just about $80. What else was there? What was alt ruin mode at? Alt ruin mode had a bit more of a gap here. So, like, it's not always 1-to-1. But we do see it is holding up pretty high. So, for staple cards, Japan's a really good resource, guys. I just thought that was really cool because people were asking me, like, well, when do you stonk up on cards? And that is when I say, when I see there's an obvious gap. 8,000 yen for base ruin mode. And then ruin mode in this Marketwatch, I think I did a refresh on the page, and it's like 55. But I stocked up on them when they're like in the 40 range. And I got them for locals to make sure people could play the decks they want. Just one thing I look at. I don't think I actually did one for, whatchamacallit, the protoforms. I think it's just something I kind of ranted online about. But just a cool thing I like to point out. You've been waiting on that Death X reprint? Yeah, the Death X reprint's going to be great. Because it is a long-term staple that I think is good for the game. It checks decks that go wide on board, and it punishes decks that have a lot of wind-up setup for setting all their tamers down. And I don't like decks that can wind up and do no interaction. If we can punish that with a card like Death X, I think it's good. Because what was the big complaint about hybrid format? People send all their tamers and they OTKU. How do you punish a deck that sits on a bunch of tamers? Death X was a healthy check to that. Because, like, if you're on defeat, you're popping 1 tamer. If you're on 2 defeats, you can pop 2 tamers. But you can't answer all the tamers they spit out as fast as they did. Same thing with Cross. Cross plays a lot of tamers and bodies. So Death X is a healthy check to those type of high-tempo decks that play tamers and bodies. So it's definitely something you need in the format. And when we have those things, of course, it's going to be expensive because it's generic. It doesn't really like care about the deck it goes in. But yeah, Death X, I think it's a good staple. Getting reprinted, to be more accessible in player hands is great too. I love that. But yeah, like just back to the point though, event packs are amazing here. Like even though Atomic Inferno's not played a lot right now, Red Hybrid's always getting support, Hybrid decks are always getting support, you're going to see this card cycle in. The Soul Lugarmon, that one might not be as good. I do think these are brand new arts though for the Sisters. Sistermon Blanc and CL, these are brand new arts exclusive to this so far. How much are these event packs going to be? It depends on how long they're in circulation for. That's the big thing. How long they're in circulation for, and then if these cards are in the LMO2 set. If these are in LMO2, I expect these to be a little bit lower. But from where they stand, it's going to be a great event pack. Yeah, I think that was one of the last cards Red Hybrid needed to have a full new Blinged deck. Yeah, these are new? Okay, that's what I thought. I thought they were brand new arts. But yeah, so like that's the event pack. But if we look at the regional pack here, guys, also gas. Like this is such a good regional pack. You got the Gate of the Deadly Sins, good for Demon Lords. The Zubamon promo, not bad. Ragnar's not really being played, but it's a promo, and we're reprinting the promo along with Raremon, and these two matter so much long-term in the game, guys. Reprinting the promos, great. Garga Ace, you don't have to buy star decks to get them. You get this cool alt art. I love that. BT16 Ukumon, this is a fire art. I actually love this. And because of this art, you can run Highlander Ukumons. You can run 4 different arts in a deck now. You can run the original BT16. You can run the BT16 PR. You can run the alt art. And you can run this art. You have 4 different arts. I love that. It's so cool to show that the staples they want to be in the game are accessible in some way, shape, or form. Venusmon, this card needed a reprint. It was like $10 for base SR, and it's relatively new still. Like, this is like a year old. It is a bit weird, because it did get the Hero Inset reprint too, which is a cool art. I actually like that art a lot. That's good. I don't know which Imperial this is. This looks like it's what? This is like the BT16 Dragon Mode? I can't read that, but it's probably BT16 Dragon Mode if I had to guess. Pilot trying hard to get away from the Venus. Oh yeah, it's right there. Yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, anyways, this is great. I love seeing this. This gives me so much excitement to see upcoming events. So guys, real quick, I'm going to give myself a plug here. If you guys aren't aware, I do weekly webcam locals for Digimon. Every Monday night. Michael helps me host out, Shigeru sometimes helps me judge, depending on our player count. I think Ukumon is not a problem card long term. It speeds up decks that don't need a build and raising. That's true. That's why Nume Monze is a good deck. That's why Blue Hybrid's a good deck moving forward. But that's why when I have this event here, I'm not restricting the Ukumon. I'm choosing to restrict cards that are problematic in the decks that abuse Ukumon. So Nume X going to 0 in this event, Agunimon going to 0 in this event, Stingmon to 0, Thomas H. Norstein to 0, and Magnamon X to 1. Magna X doesn't have many checks right now. But yeah, this is for my personal webcam events. We have this 1-week banless event. We allow proxies. EX6 is legal. So whatever you guys have on hand, you can use. If you need to proxy cards, you can proxy cards because it's week 1. Do you think they will realistically post more events with the new pricing? Europe has 1 event, and it's an IRL event. So, realistically, what happens a lot of the time... Yeah, because it looks like we only have 3 events total. I think it's very realistic they'll be posting more events. Because there's no way they're going to have... Oh, sorry, here's the events. It's like 1 event per region. There's no way this is going to be a one-and-done thing. I think they're probably going to announce... 2 things. First of all, I'm expecting store regionals to be announced again, because I think they hinted at a wave 2. Second thing, Bandai never has everything up on the first go. I'm expecting them to add more. Whether it's in Europe, I always feel bad, because Europe does kind of get, like, the brunt end of the stick there. But I would expect more in other regions, at least. Like NA, There's no way we only have one event in NA. Like, it's not going to be just this event here. I'm expecting them to add more. Whether it's in person, online, we will have more of them, so there should be more circulation. But what do I know? I can't speak for everything. I only know so much off the top of my head. But yeah, so that's thoughts on that stuff. But back to the Uko discussion. That's why I'm not hitting Uko in this event. I think it's a card Bandai clearly wants to be in the game long term, and they don't feel like it is the actual problem. They think the decks using it are the bigger problem. Store regionals, they want to be careful with how many invites they're giving out, I think, though. That's the bigger thing. They don't want to give out too many invites. Because I always look back at that second year. If you look at second year Nats, you had more invites than spots, and I don't think they ever want to run into that again. But also, I think they're looking ahead saying, hey, if we're playing this event, we want to keep the entry free. If we're keeping the entry free, how much are we willing to like host? Because I'm pretty sure Nats has been free in the US at least every year. I know in other regions you had to pay, which is why you got the Angemon mat on entry. But we haven't had to pay here in the US. So if the event's free and we get our invite, is there really a complaint on that? I know people want it to be more accessible so more people can get in. But here's another thing. I don't know if you guys have seen. Do you guys follow the Pokemon TCG? Was it? It's Worlds for 2025. If you guys follow what Pokemon just announced, I'm just kind of pulling up an article here. They actually made it so it's not a point system anymore. You have to be top 125 players points-wise. Pokemon, a very big company also, has cut down tremendously on how big they want their Worlds competition to be. You have to be in the top 125 players in the points leaderboard. If Pokemon's saying we're restricting the number of players, and Bandai's doing it, it's not the fact that Bandai hates their games. It's just becoming a more normal thing for these high-end events. Because the idea is we want the cream of the crop. We want the best players to play in these events for Worlds, for Nationals. So they're going to make the circuit more competitive. It sucks that not everyone gets to participate in the actual event. But I'm willing to bet if you guys went to CardFest in LA, there's a lot of cool things you were able to do there that wasn't competing in the main competition. So I definitely expect there to be a lot of neat things going on still, even though you may not be playing in the actual Nationals event. Yeah, and then other thing for Pokemon, if you don't know, with their point system, they have a best finish limit. And this basically says how many points can you farm from events before we say that's the most events, we'll take your best events. So basically they're saying, hey, if you go to regionals, we'll take your 6 best regionals for points. So it's not based on who can pay to go to the most events. They don't want it to be a pay-to-win scenario. They want it to be a scenario where you are playing and you're a competent player. You're effective with your time. I think that's awesome to see. So like that's one thing about their best finish limits and their regionals for this upcoming year. But yeah, that's how Pokemon's doing things. Which, if you gotta like set the standards for what Pokemon does, they have one of the largest circuits. It makes sense to me. Yeah, we can just pull up the official site here. Yeah, I'll just set the or cookies. What's the point of restricting invites? Because they want to workflow how many people actually participate in the event. I'm speculating they're caring about the player count a lot more than people realize. And as cool as store regionals are, I love the idea that they exist. But you also have to look at the revenue income. One Piece will sell out everything they have. Until recently, Digimon was not selling out. And when I say everything, I'm talking about product. And of course, if you have a bigger event, you want it to be where the money actually is at. It's like One Piece capped out a 1,500 person event. They sold out all of their tickets for a 1,500 person event. If we offered that for Digimon, as much as I love the game, I don't know if we would actually see that. Like, realistically, I think we can cap out a 500 person event easily. We can probably cap out a 700 person event in person. I think we could. Will we get to a 1024? I really don't know if we can cap out 1024. Now, it is improving. We're getting more players. We're getting better price support. We're making it more attractive for players to come play. So I think it is more likely now than it was before. But if you go back to BT13, our Ultimate Cups we had there, the regionals we had there, they weren't capping out. In fact, I think we had sub 100 player Ulti Cups at that point. And that's rough. Like, why would you want to invest in that as a company? Because I try to be attentive to like all the markets. I try looking at One Piece. I try looking at Digimon and Dragon Ball. And I try looking at all the different games. And it kind of makes sense when you see like how the events all work. I've judged for a lot of the games. I've judged for BSS, One Piece, Digimon. I haven't judged for Dragon Ball yet. I'm a judge for Fusion World, but not Masters. But just seeing how all the players interact and how the events fill and the retention they have in each event is such a big difference. Uh, so yeah, Wing Zero. Appreciate the question. Appreciate the question. Start of the stream. I kind of looked at our Japan pricing here. I looked at deck lists, and I'll TLDR it for you. Let me pull up EX6 here. EX6, we looked at Mire's. You average it between the two Japan sites. And Japan has a higher emphasis on waifu cards. My TLDR in this first part is Mire is hecka overpriced. My second point, I made Agudamon. He is hecka overpriced. 2,000 yen. Look at our base one over here. And these are two Japan sites that people buy singles from. Just over 2,000 yen. Hecka overpriced for Agudamon. Especially for the base. If we looked at the alt art, the alt art was like 1,000 yen more. Also hecka overpriced. Because like, look, 3,000 yen for alt art Aguda. That's overpriced. But I do think there are two cards worth looking at. I think the Lucimon and the Lilithmon are worth looking at right now. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the price gap and you look at how necessary, the Lucimon is a 4 of in the deck. And if you look at the price of the Lucimon Japan, it's like 12,800 yen. It's like, I'm going to do my dumb ballparking math, 130 bucks. It's overpriced in Japan by a bit there because they're available still. But Shizzy, there's a big gap there. If we look at the Lucimon, he's sold out here. That's one card I am 100% looking at right now for long-term price. I think the price could go up for that one. So Lucimon, I would definitely gun for that one. Lilithmon, the other one, 9,000 yen here. If we average on this one, 9,000 yen here. The average is 9,000 yen. Gross ballpark math, 90 bucks. We look at our US price, it's like 67 bucks. It'll probably hold around this price. I don't think the Lilith is going to be super crazy, but it does have room to go up. So it's one card that I would keep an eye out for too. But the Lucimon Chaos Mode is going to be the card, like the Magnamon in BT13, that will probably surprise people. You think the events are fine at 500 or 600, be more reasonable. If you played regionals in Peoria, they capped a 2-day One Piece event at 1,000 plus, and the Digicaps are right around 300 in the same venue. Yeah, so it's like, if we have IRL events, you're probably going to always see them paired with two things or have a super large cap on one. So the event I worked this past weekend was up in Mesquite, Texas. That was a 1,500 person One Piece event that all the tickets were sold out for. They sold all 1,500 tickets for this in-person event. The final count was 1,200 people though. So if we look at that, it is a little weird, but people had a lot of FOMO about the event because One Piece was so hard to get into that you just buy the tickets and hope you get to the event. Now, why did 300 people, give take, not show up? I can't tell you. But the tickets were sold. Like, people actually bought them. But we got a lot of people off the wait list. I worked that reg staff line using TCG Plus, which I could go into a totally different rant there, guys. TCG Plus was the straight up best software I have used judging any event ever. The registration process, we never had a line of people doing check in. At the event, we went through the roughly 1,000 people, because I know roughly 200 to 300 pre-regged at Eclipse or the venue hall the day before. We went through over 1,000 people almost in less than 2 hours. There is no line ever. We were able to get through all those people with no issues, and it was amazing. We said, hey, pull up TCG Plus, give me your barcode, let me scan it, you're checked in for the event, here's your participation, you're good to go. If we used BCP, we would have to say, what's your email? Type out the email. We look to see if they're in the event. Hey, do you have a deck list? Guess what? BCP deck lists weren't stored there. They were saved in a Google form. But TCG Plus had everything in one central location, and it was amazing to have. Do you know what the other cool part was? We had a wait list. We waitlisted almost, I think it was 200 people in 17 minutes. In 17 minutes, we went through 200 people because we were able to use TCG Plus. And we said, hey guys, if you want to get in this event, have your deck list ready on TCG Plus. We will scan you in the event, register your deck list in front of us. Once you get that, you get your participation and you're good for the event. And we did 200 people in about 17 minutes. There is no way you could do that with Best Coast pairings that fast. There is no way with Arcanine you can do it that fast. And it was awesome to see. That's my perspective working the event, though. So I think it's one of those cool things, too, moving forward. I think we are going to see TCG Plus be the main platform. If you look at all the NA events, I believe we are going to be using TCG Plus. And people might whine and moan about it, but it is such a good move going forward. Especially the fact we had 0 repairs. We had 0 technical issues on TCG Plus making the brackets for those 1,200 people events. As of late, yes, TCG Plus has been a massive improvement. I think it is probably the best way moving forward to run these events. If I had to run the check-in process through Best Coast pairings, there's no way we would have gone through that many people in 2 hours without having a backed-up line. I just don't see it being that efficient with other softwares. Of course, other softwares will try improving now they've seen what Bondi has done with TCG Plus. But that just blew my mind out of the water for how good it was. Anyways, guys, it's been about 45 minutes, give take. Does anyone have any questions about market content? Repairs happen when people mess up their match results. I'll be real with you, if they mess up their match results, we shouldn't ever repair it. That's on the players. I think even in the TRM, it says repair should only happen under extenuating circumstances. Like if we go here to rules. Yeah, fun facts. If we go here, oh, it's under here. It's tournament rules manual. Where is it? It might just be under downloads. Tournament rules manual. Let's see, repairs pertaining to game state. This horn is under here. It might be labeled as something else. Oh well. Point is basically we shouldn't ever repair unless it's really detrimental to how many people had issues. Thoughts on SP cards. So the SP cards are your special parallels, your special rares. For anyone who doesn't know, these are roughly 1 in 2 to 3 cases for pull rates. In One Piece, the pull rates of SP cards are 1 per 6 boxes. You get 2 per case, guaranteed. And Digimon, for whatever reason, they love us buying more products, so it's 1 per 2 to 3 cases. So these typically will hold a lot more in price. If I had to guess, we have to go to page 5 here because no one's bought them on TCG Player yet, which means they have no market price. Yeah, no one has bought them yet on TCG Player because the market price can't be calculated, and because it can't be calculated, it's at the bottom, which means no one has bought publicly these cards at the prices listed. So first of all, that tells me they are overpriced. Now, why am I not looking at Japan prices here? We can. We can try gauging what Japan sells them for, but we have English exclusives, guys. You have to remember that. What does a Gouda go for? Maybe it goes for 300 to 400. I'm not quite sure. It's like such a hard thing to gauge 1-to-1 on these cards, especially when we don't have like a similar precedent, you know? Because here, I think the SPs might be down here. I know we have some English ones. I'm not quite sure where they'd be. We can look, it's like 29,000, 24,000, 17,000. The Massey's gone at 60,000. The Truby's gone at 30,000. So if we want to compare these prices, we can say that Massey and Truby should be above 600 and 300 comparatively. And if we go here, Massey above 600, Truby above 300, these two are probably like the most playable high quantity ones because you need 4 Masteys for the deck. For the Truby, this is played in Nume Manze, and Truby being played in Nume Manze, if you guys don't know, it's kind of like a Valk Ace effect, except it goes tall on a stack rather than wide. So those are ones I would look out for. These two, because I think they're going to be the highest dollar ones. The Aguda looks cool. Like, he's definitely a neat one, but he's not even holding in Japan that crazy high. So if we look at Aguda, however you say it, it's like 24,800, just say 250 bucks. This one's definitely going to fall a lot more. The only reason I don't like this site, you can't see the prices once they sold out. But I try averaging when I can. But just going off of UU here, they have 3 in stock, 250 bucks. They have a reasonable amount. Do I buy Ultimate Chaosmon Alt Arts today for Dark Master Zoo? Ultimate Chaosmon is that the new card? This is an EX6 card. It's like 12 bucks here right now. It doesn't seem horrible right now. Let's take a look. And that was an SR, right? Yeah, it's an Altar SR. So we go down to our parallel SRs here. We look at Ultimate Chaosmon. He's basically matching what I would expect. Go here, Ultimate Chaosmon Altar. He has the goofy looking eyes. Where is he? Did I miss him? I think I missed him. That's the base one, right? Yeah, that's the base one. Where's his alt art here? Oh, it's right here. It's like 1,000 yen. If you want to be aggressive, you could be aggressive about getting it 80%, and it's probably going to be a solid price right now. Will it go crazy high up? Probably not. This card's not like played in a lot of decks. It's like the price now isn't horrible, but you can definitely get it lower. Give it time. You'll probably be able to buy a playset for like 8 bucks each. 7 to 8 bucks each is what I would aim for in this card. Now, of course, in the grand scheme of things, trying to save 20 bucks on a playset of this card, it's not bad. But I also don't think you really have like a lot of risk if you buy it now in comparison. Yeah, it's not a bad card. For Omnizu in particular, what is it? You got your DNA and you got Partition. Partition's funny in that deck. If DNA Digivolve may place up to 2 level 6 cards from your trash as bomb sources, and for each level 6, and sources return one of your opponent's Digimon to bomb the deck. Okay, so you get a bot decking effect. Your turn while it has 4 more level 6s. You gain security attack plus 3 and piercing. That's a cool closer. I dig it. Yeah, so it's like good in Omnizu. That's cool. I dig it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy listening to me rant. I know it's been a moment, and I'm trying to be more consistent at making content for y'all. I'm currently hunting for a new job right now, too, so that's like my main focus. So every week I've been applying for jobs because I got laid off about a month ago. So it may be a little bit inconsistent with me making content, but I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I love talking to you guys in the community and providing value where I can provide value and something that's kind of unique for what I do. But with that being said, guys, you enjoy it? I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. Oh, also, I guess I should give myself one final plug before we go. But if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with other folks as well, because one thing I want to do is I want to grow this channel. And if I see you guys like and subscribe, it shows me I'm going in the right direction for the content you guys enjoy. Because where was it? If I go to my YouTube studio here, I can show you things have been going great for the channel. Like, I've been really happy with seeing my growth. 34 subscribers in the past month. I appreciate you guys so much for that. I really do. And seeing me get so close to 1,000 subs is amazing. I know Digipanda just gave me a shout out, and I definitely appreciate it. And I want to return that shout out to him. Plug the TCG kickback? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that real quick. Also, kind of like what Curls mentioned here in the chat. If you guys do not know, I actually got an affiliate link on TCG Player lately. So right here in my announcements channel, I'll drop it again. If you guys aren't in my Discord, I'll drop it in the link in chat here. But if you guys are buying singles on TCG Player, it would mean a lot if you guys click on my link first. I do get a kickback from TCG Player for referring folks to TCG Player making purchases. And if you guys are making purchases anyways, it costs you nothing extra besides clicking on my link there. So that's just another way you can support the channel, aside from liking, commenting, and subscribing as well. But as I see this number go up, hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. I just saw that. Thank you so much, folks. But it lets me know I'm going in the right direction with content you guys enjoy, and I'll try getting more of this stuff out regularly for y'all. Yeah, here. With that being said, though, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you so much. Take care, and have a nice one.